B. Frank Network. Welcome to another very special episode of Happy Never After. We had this guest on before. He is one of the hosts of the Cowboy Boys, Shayne Smith. Hi. How are
Hey,
you? Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm in my Wonder Woman costume, and
Yeah, what's this? You look sleek. You look fast, like a dolphin.
I'm trying to be more professional for my Zoom training. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear compression things. I was like, no, I just look like a superhero.
There you go.
Where are you? Are you home?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been traveling a lot.
What?
I feel like it.
No, I truly haven't been. I just think that I am an insane person, so it looks like I'm going around, but I've been not.
I thought you were going to your mom's.
Yeah, so I go back to you. My mom has like a property and stuff, and she has severe arthritis. So I go home and help her out with her life.
What does that mean?
You know, she just can't she can't like shovel snow and like take care of. So I'm from Utah where like people have land, you know, so they have to do stuff with it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just leave it or it'll take over your house and destroy you.
I rented a cabin in the Poconos, and I'm still very New York in my brain, even though I'm from Michigan. And I was like, okay, there's like a lot of snow. What do we do here? How do we get rid of that? Turns out you got to shovel it every day.
Yep.
A lot.
By hand. Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, my mom has like not a quarter-mile driveway, but it's a big driveway and you have to shovel the whole thing.
By hand.
Yep.
Oh my God. What a good workout.
Yeah. Shoveling snow and chopping wood I'm very familiar with these two activities. They build character, but damn, not fun.
I brought over the first piece of wood that I split. You know, when you do that, and then it gets that sexy little line and it cuts open so you don't have to keep chopping. And I brought it to my dad. I was like, look, I split wood. And he's like, okay, go home. I was like, hey, this is my new thing.
That was one of my first jobs as a kid.
What?
My stepfather sold quarts of wood. So we would go out and logging and as a kid, we would just have like thousands of logs and then we would cut them by hand to sell them to tourists or campers or people in like the county I lived in. So I would just shake spiders out of logs and split them all day with my brothers by hand.
Oh my God. You must have been such a jacked 5-year-old.
Yeah, I was a pretty strong kid. I was what do they call that? There's a word you're not supposed to use anymore, but we were farm strong, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I won't say it either because I made a joke. I made a light German joke in the last one, and I was like, ooh, I better clean it up for the next couple.
Come on now.
Is there a trick?
No.
Nope.
Oh my God, I just love it. Can you imagine if there was a trick and I just literally like dropped out of school to cut wood and I would be like, damn, I wish there was. No, the trick is to have equipment. The trick is to logging, I'm not a logger. I by the way, everyone, not a logger, a wood splitter. There's a huge difference. It's like I am the equivalent of if you're in a kitchen, the cook is important. Even the sous chef, the prep guys, they're all important. Who's the least important person in a kitchen?
The guy bringing the green beans in? I don't know.
Oh, dishwasher.
Oh,
wow.
Yes.
You are so far away from the working class. What is happening? And so I
worked in restaurants too. I just hated the kitchen.
Come on.
I also don't go in the kitchen a lot. I'm vegan. I'm vegan because I can't cook.
It's a dark place where people actually have to work. So
it's so hot in there.
It really is. Anyway, so I was the logging equivalent of a dishwasher. But yeah, logging is so even in our modern times, it's so primitive that it's like the most dangerous job in the United States because there's only so much technology you can get. At the end of the day, a man has to get is to cut that wood. And like,
Yeah. My neighbor, when he drove past, he goes, "You better be careful. Those axes bounce back sometimes." And I was like, Psh. I was like, "Not with this strength." And then all of a sudden, it was like, "Boing!" I was like, "Oh,
yeah, yeah, they
well,
do.
almost killed me." They almost killed me.
Usually, if you think the wood is going to be hard, you set the axe. So you take the axe and then you like kind of hammer the axe into the wood lightly. And then if you're strong enough, you can take a big swing with the wood on the end of your axe
Okay, I can't do
so that
that.
it can't bounce. Well, I thought you were so strong though.
I'm strong for like Instagram.
Mm. Instagram, not wood chopping. Got it. She's Instagram strong.
I'm obsessed with wood chopping. I wish that you could do it both sides. And I did watch a lot of YouTubes on how to do it,
Nice.
only to see if there was a trick, and I think you are right. I don't want to believe that you're right. I feel like there is a trick. Also,
I want there to be.
it would be awesome. The hammering thing, the metal on metal, that hurts my ears, so I just don't do it.
Oh no, you set the wood down. So I don't know if you're doing it with a hatchet or an axe.
An axe,
But if you're
like full.
if you're doing it with an axe,
4-footer.
You take your hand up the haft of the axe, and
Yep.
then you near the top, and then you slam the top of the axe into the bigger piece of wood.
Yeah.
But while holding it with your hand, and then now you can lift the axe with the whole wood on it, and then chop it.
Okay, there's zero way that I can do that. This wood is so heavy.
Yeah, wood is heavy, it turns out. It sucks. Trust me, me and my 3 brothers as children, honestly, we were more scared of the spiders and bugs than we were the annoyed that we were chopping all day.
My friend got a Christmas tree from Whole Foods, and it had so many bugs in it that they gave her a $1,000 gift card as a.
It's so funny. What kind of bugs were in there?
Just like whatever, termites, stuff like that. I know, there's a lot of bugs.
The pros of being Jewish, no bugs. I got a no bug situation over here.
I built a couple things, piece of furniture. I just went and bought lumber, and I was like, "What's the difference?" And he goes, "Well, when you put it in the kiln, you can see all the bugs start to crawl out and die." And I was like, "Ooh!" And those little pieces that you cut off from the what? They're called cookies. So he's like, "Yeah." And I said, How can I kiln it at home? Can I just put it in the oven?" And he goes, "Yeah, you can." So we put it in the oven and turned the light on and watched all the bugs come out. And I was like, ugh!
Not great. Not great.
Anyway, I'm turned into a pioneer woman. I'm like, I'm a pioneer woman.
I love that I shoveled wood. I cut a wood and I shoveled snow. Shoveled wood. You're a pioneer woman now. You're doing it.
I know. And the pieces.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. The heavy wood pieces, I do pick them up and work out with them. I do like fireman carries with them.
That is the way to do it.
It is. My neighbors stare at me. They're like, "What the fuck is she doing?" I'm like, "Whatever I want." Can you help me? It's heavy.
We used to have rocks Viking style that we would just lift.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You gotta find good rocks, and then you keep the rocks forever. But yeah, we used to have rocks that we would farmers carry, and then you put on your shoulder and then you push it off, and you just do that over and over.
That's a good workout.
Yeah. I mean, famously, that's how like strongmen very far back in the day used to do it.
Interesting.
Just lift rocks. Yeah. That's why there's famous stones in Iceland and Scotland that those guys lift.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah. There's a famous stone in Iceland that a sheep farmer used to put as the door to his sheep pen. And then he would pick up the stone to move it for a sheep to come out. And I think the stone weighs 480 something pounds.
And he could lift it?
Yeah, people lift it all the time. They recreate it and they lift it at strongman competitions. They carry it around the equivalent of the sheep pen. So they marked out how big his sheep pen was historically in the 1700s, I think. And now for competition, they'll pick up a recreation of the stone, a perfect recreation. They casted the stone, and then they walk around the sheep pen as many times as they can, as fast as they can, as competition. And then in Scotland, there's big stones that men used to throw. And there's also these big stones with chains in them that you deadlift. And I think one stone is 500 and the other one is 300. And then you have to walk across the bridge with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're very heavy. Just to simply lift them is like a massive accomplishment because it fucks up your hand.
Yeah. The grip strength that you have to go through, like all the grip training.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I had a guy on earlier, Sam Silla, he lost his hand in the Iraq War.
Okay.
He can deadlift 700 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah, and then he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to be in New York. Let's work out." I was like, "No, thank you. I'm good."
What's your deadlift at?
I think mine's only at like 170.
What?
Which is decent.
Do you max out very often?
I don't. I used to do that, and I feel like I'm having a phase where I'm just not.
That's cool. I'm not either. I pulled like 405 recently, and I was like, that's good enough for me. I'm going to chill.
Where are you working out?
I work out at New York Sports Club.
They're open?
Yep. In Queens, they are.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules and stuff, but yeah, they're open.
The gym that I had my full-time job with closed forever.
Oh.
Yeah. But I do personal training out of a studio next door. So I still.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you do personal training when you're at the Poconos? Do you go ahead and throw the camera on and carry wood? Like, hey, I don't know what you guys' wood situation is where you are, but you could get some.
I almost fell for, because guys in the gym, men in the gym, like married men usually, they'll go, yeah, I want to hire a personal trainer. And then you catch on pretty quickly. It's like when you first start comedy as a woman and guys are like, you want to come over to write? You know, it's like that same feel. But my neighbor's cousin was like, yeah, I want to hire a personal trainer. I was like, do you really? Actually? Because that's awesome. And then I got halfway through my conversation. I was like, oh, never mind. You want a bone.
But here's what you do. You just string him along and get that money.
I go, if you actually want a personal train, your cousin has my phone number. And I was like, wah, wah. And I walked back home.
There you go.
My little cabin is my sanctuary. It's like I do Zoom sessions there, but I don't work there.
Yeah, okay. She has a sanctuary, like Superman.
You pioneer sanctuary. How's your COVID been going?
It's good. So I'm like a very antisocial person anyway. I have two modes. I'm either like, I'm doing comedy and I'm like the guy, or I'm in my space, get away from me. It's been pretty easy for me, to be perfectly honest, because I just love being in my room, in my space, playing games or doing art or whatever so much.
You got a new tat?
I did. I've been getting tattooed as much as I can. I'm very good friends with my tattoo artist. So it's been easy for me to, once they allowed tattooing again, to like figure that out, get in with her. So
she didn't want to come over and do a home tattoo? No.
No one wants to come to my place. My place is weird.
Why is it weird?
It's just like, I'm a minimalist. It's just small on purpose. And there's like nothing here, especially for a woman. It's just like all board games and like Lord of the Rings swords stuff. It's not great.
I went to like a party or whatever for New Year's. There was 4 people there. I brought Taboo and they were like, oh, we're going to get hammered. I was like, oh, so we're not going to play board games because I have it.
Did you though?
No, they would. No one. I know. I was like, Taboo is really fun. Just so you know, it's so fun. I love board games.
I love board games too. I play board games, not that, but I do like Taboo.
It's so fun. I like the categories. Connect 4 I suck at. I don't know why I can't get that one. I really lose every time.
Yeah, you got to take your time. It sounds like you're rushing already.
I just want to win and be done with it. It's like a lot of, like how chess. Did you watch the Gambit show?
No.
Oh.
Queen's Gambit.
Thank you. It was good.
I'm a big fan of chess. I'm not a very good player, but I like chess a lot. I like professional chess. Like I pay attention to what they're up to.
Do you feel like you have that like Aspergery brain where you can manipulate things like that?
Yeah, I don't play chess ever, but I'm a decently rated player online, and I also, do you know what Magic the Gathering is?
I was gonna ask you what games you play.
Yeah, I was gonna say I qualified for the Pro Tour in Magic the Gathering more than once, so I do have an Aspergery brain, if that's what you're. And not even ironically, like quite literally, yes.
I feel like everybody's a little on the spectrum.
Of course.
100%.
That's what, yeah, absolutely.
So what you're saying is you're getting laid a lot.
So much. You know what girls love? When they're like, "What are you into?" And you're like, "You don't want to know. It's dorky." And they're like, "No, tell me." And then you say games and they go, "Oh, I love games." And then you have to be like, "Not like this." Not like this, you don't.
I know I wanted to talk about taboo before we got into what I know, what I feel like the game type of game. So other than Magic the Gathering, what are you playing?
In board games world or video game world?
Well, video games is also part of your income, yeah? Twitch?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I play board games online too.
You play board games online?
I stream them, so I play I play Dungeons and Dragons and other board games, and I like have multiple cameras and people watch.
Okay, so do you speak during these games? Do you
Yeah.
talk? Okay.
Yeah. I commentate during them and like talk to people about them or whatever. Dungeons and Dragons is like a social game that is almost like watching a show. So that's an easy one to like share with people.
So what is the difference between being social on Wi-Fi versus why are you so uncomfortable with being in person social?
No, I'm not uncomfortable. I don't mind being social. I just want to be social when I want to be social.
Oh,
I like to have fun. I don't like to be told when I'm having fun. Does that make sense?
yes.
So I just need to be not in control, but it has to be when I want it, you know? So, a lot of people who are social, they're like, someone asks them to hang out and they're like, yeah, I'm not doing anything. I've never in my life. What the fuck? I can't believe people do that. Like, what are you up to? Do you want to hang out? It's like, what are you saying to me? I would never. Hanging out with someone without a task is bananas crazy to me. Are you kidding? You mean just sit around together? So I don't do a lot of that. So I have a lot of friends who are like, these are my Dungeons and Dragons friends. These are my climbing friends. These are my weightlifting friends. These are my gun friends. These are my, whatever. And so that's why I love comedy, because it facilitates me being social so well. Because a lot of work is simply just like, hey, do you want to come eat with us? And it's like, yes, I will do that, because it lights up the good part of my brain that says, yes, this is worth your time, even though we are just simply being around each other. And then I kind of socialize, because I am kind of like a dog in that I sometimes become feral because I don't socialize enough. That's on me, but I can't help myself, and I won't make myself miserable. I've tried. I've forced myself to like go to tea with a friend and stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, no, I hate it.
I tried to sit outside of a coffee shop without my phone once. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I just tried to sit there, and a comic was inside, and he looked out and he came out and he goes, "You look fucking ridiculous." And I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't want to just sit here. What am I going to do? He's like, I also need something to do at all times. It might be like a focus thing. It's definitely a focus thing for me, because if I have nothing else going on, then I notice everything all at once and it gets confusing.
Okay.
If I'm doing my work, like I'll do a lot on my computer, I have to have noise on, so the TV. But I'm not actually I don't actually take it in. Are you like that, or no? You're really invested in both?
No, I'm like that. I want to be drowned in noise constantly. It's like a weighted blanket. I like to have the TV on in the living room, even when I'm not in there, so that if I walk from my room to the bathroom, it's like on and there's stuff happening in that room. I love that. I want noise always.
Always. Can you eat? Can you hear yourself chew? Does that bother you?
No, I can't really hear myself chew.
Oh, I can definitely hear myself chew, and it drives me nuts.
I don't have problems with no noise, because I also enjoy, like, I've done a lot of camping, like, alone. I mean, I've been alone for, what's the longest I've ever been alone?
Where'd you go?
Places in Utah, usually.
Okay.
So I think the longest I've ever gone is almost 3 weeks without talking to another or seeing another person.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
At what age was this?
Oh, man. I guess I've done it in my 20s, and then I did it when I was a teenager sometimes, too. I would just walk out into the woods. or walk out into the desert. Just depends on your mood.
So, and your parental figures, parents weren't like, where are you?
0 rules.
0.
0. Yeah. So they would just be like, hey, I'm just leaving. They'd be like, all right. I also grew up in like a place where just like walking out into the woods, it's like normal. I'll see you later. They were fine.
Oh man, we could go around the lake. I grew up on a lake, and we could go around the lake, but we had to go around in a certain amount of time, or my dad was like, "Where were you?"
Yeah, that's smart. Your dad is correct. And honestly, when I think back to it, because solo camping is like so dangerous. Because if
Yeah.
something happens to you, you're just fucked. Like no one's coming for you.
Nope.
But as a kid, there were so many times when I almost died, and I'm just like, if I had even been severely injured, I
That
would have.
doc, that based on a true story, whatever those are called, movie about Into the Wild, about that guy that ate. He was like reading about all the poisonous plants, and he mixed up, and he ate the tiniest amount, and it was like, you're not gonna live, and he
Yeah.
he died. So
Yeah, you shouldn't eat local flora or fauna. You just shouldn't do that.
no.
Yeah, he was, oh man, I forget his name, even though I know it and have read Into the Wild more than once. He made a big mistake. You should never eat local flora and fauna unless you're with a local who can tell you what is good and what isn't. A book, you should never, ever, ever, ever read or trust a book on what you can and can't eat in terms of stuff that grows. That's a rule in survivalism.
Maybe this is a myth or a wives' tale that you can Snopes for me, but have you heard this, that if your pet won't eat it, then you shouldn't eat it?
No, that's a wives' tale.
Oh, damn.
Your pets are very dumb. Think about this. If you were on,
I met you at a dog birthday party. I just want to let you know.
Can you imagine if you were like, I'm just imagining you and a few other New Yorkers, and you're all standing around, and a dog is eating his own poop, and you're like, it's safe to eat this poop. Go ahead, Carrie, get in there. Tell me what it's like. I hear it's good for your skin.
Well, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, dogs are so silly. They truly don't. They're on the level with us. That's why we're such good pairs with them, because they're as dumb as we are.
Like, you're my best friend. Yeah, you're my best friend too. Cool, let's be fucking dumb together.
And this is another one. Horses also very dumb, just so people know.
What, really?
Oh yeah, they're so silly. They truly are. They truly are idiots. Any animal that's on Team Human that's like, no, we'll throw in with you guys. You seem cool. And it hangs out with us all the time. Very stupid.
And then we turn it into glue.
In the fun way, though.
Yeah, we ride it. We make them work. Yeah, of course. Oh, I didn't realize horses were dumb.
Yeah.
What about cows? Cows dumb?
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Cows are sweet, though. Cows are sweethearts. I mean, some horses are nice. Horses are like dogs, and that they have like a very varied amount of personalities. Like, I had a horse that really liked me, but it used to like headbutt other people when I was a kid, and I was like, he ruled. I liked him.
Yeah.
He would trick you into getting near him, thinking you were okay, and then he wouldn't like attack you, because a horse could just kill you. But
yeah.
Horses, I don't know if you've ever been around them, but they'll do this thing where they smash you with their head just to be a dickhead. And he used to just trick people into thinking they were safe, and then he would just absolutely clobber them. And he never did it to me. He loved me.
Yeah. There's this horse out in Austin that would do that, named Pete. And Pete loved me too. And I was like, this makes me feel so special.
Yeah, it's great.
I love you.
Yeah. Horses bite too. That's something normal people don't know about. I love telling New Yorkers, they're like, I love horses. And I'm like, they bite. Just let them know. You let them know about it. Horses bite. It hurts. It's not cool.
Okay, so you grew up in a lawless house.
Yeah.
Yes, we talked about this on
trailer.
Sorry. Manufactured home. It's PC. Thank you.
That's right. That's right.
A lawless. Oh my God. a lot of people. Do you watch that 600-Pound Life? No, you don't. You're better than me.
No, I don't. I would though. I'm not better than you. I just don't. I watch like I watch the Gypsy Wedding Show though. That one rules.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
Check it out.
Also on
Check
TLC?
it out. Yeah, of course. The home of trash television. What are we learning about today? Nothing of value. That's for sure.
TLC is the devil. They will murder anyone's soul for a good show.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I'm obsessed with 2 of the shows on there. But well, I have an obesity obsession, I think. I would like to help everyone. But a lot of those people live in manufactured home. I'm like, what's the constant? But okay, so we talked about this on when you came out before.
I can tell you what the constant is.
Calories.
Yeah, I was going to say when you're poor, the food you have access to easily is like all carbs and calories, of course.
But these people are eating like 15,000 calories a day. That's so much money.
No, it's not as much as you think it is. It's so easy. I mean, listen, as a fitness person, I guess what happens is in shape people who have like access to good stuff, they like start to forget. You forget that SpaghettiOs are 80 cents a can.
That's it?
You forget that like ramen is 15 cents a pack and that you can put 5 in one bowl. You forget that like a McDouble is $1 in the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like you can hack this shit away for cheap. It's that's why obesity is an epidemic in low income places, because you're hurting and you're tired and you don't have the skills to cook. You don't have usually the like a functional kitchen. You don't have the motivation. No one has taught you, and you're tired after working a 9 to 5 or whatever. And you're just trying to survive, and food make feel good.
That is true. That is
just Burger King.
Well, also vegetables are very inexpensive. I spend like $70-$80 on groceries every week.
Vegetables are inexpensive, but you get your vegetables from an actual grocery store. Imagine when you have to do your shopping at Walmart or whatever because you have to buy in bulk because you support a lot of people. Or imagine you live in the Midwest where it's harder to get vegetables and stuff that are fresh and good.
Man, don't you think that eating crappy vegetables in the Midwest would be better than eating McDonald's, though?
Oh, McDonald's tastes so good.
I think when
vegetables taste bad.
They do not. They're delicious.
No, they're not. That's an acquired taste that I think you might be lying about even. I think you've convinced yourself vegetables taste good because it's the only way to survive the hell you've built for yourself.
I started dating someone over this COVID over the last few months, and this morning, thank you, this morning he was working, and at like 9:30 I walked in with a bowl of broccoli and I was just eating. He's like, what the fuck are you eating? I was like, I'm starving.
Are you eating by hand or with a spoon? Because you mimed eating it like cereal. So that's where I'm worried. I'm worried that you're eating broccoli like cereal.
It's so good. You can eat it with whatever utensil. You can stab it with a knife. You can do whatever you want. Just as long as watch out.
That is the strength.
Watch out for your
yeah,
teeth.
I will say that broccoli is an S tier vegetable. It's one of the better veggies.
I have eaten broccoli every day this quarantine, and I've really tried not to, but I can't stop.
I've eaten very few vegetables, even though I need to. What I need to do is just eat bag vegetables.
They're better for you.
It's better than nothing. Yeah, no, it's better than nothing. I should just microwave these bad boys and eat them, but I don't.
Okay, I have to say, so I live in, my little cabin is in kind of Midwesty, kind of rednecky area. Well, the grocery stores are rednecky. All the vegetables are available. They have an abundance of vegetables at the Walmart there. And I thought it was because no one was buying them because they wanted to eat the shit food.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of access to vegetables, but there is a lot of preparation and cleaning. And if you're tired of your life and everything day to day, I get it.
Yeah. Well, also, like, what are you going to, I mean, I grew up poor. I have no idea. What the fuck do I do? You know, what am I just going to eat a vegetable by itself? What do I do with it? You know what I mean? What do I even do with it?
You didn't just eat carrots?
No.
Have you ever just eaten a baby carrot?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I like them with peanut butter, but Also, there's a thing where like when you're young, you associate if you eat bad vegetables or you eat them raw and you're just like no one cooks them or makes them taste good, you're just going to associate them with not being good for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Brussels sprouts are a tough one because there's a very particular way that you have to make Brussels sprouts for them to even taste decent.
Yeah.
And then also beets. Beets are a tough one to take down when you're young. And then you're like, I never want this stuff.
Yeah. So it's tough. It's hard to. I mean, I get it.
I get it too, I guess. But I am obsessed with that show, and a lot of them live in the manufactured homes. And Dr. Now is a dick to them, and I love it. He's like,
yeah, you gotta.
It seems to me you're lying.
Do they lie? Do they try to pretend like they don't?
Yeah, they're like, I'm following the diet. And he goes, no, you have to be eating at least 15,000 calories to get to this weight. So you're a liar. And then he'll call out the spouse right there. He's like, and you're enabling her. You're making her fat. How do you feel? And I'm like, oh my God, get it, Doctor Now.
Wow. Can you imagine? There's a guy married to a 600-pound woman, and I can't even get a girlfriend that's an eighth of that woman.
You could get a girlfriend. You just don't close the deal.
I can't get a girlfriend because I don't listen. For her to be a girlfriend, she has to not be miserable. I don't want to be around someone I don't like. That's the difference. I'm imagining if I liked a woman, I would date the 600-pound woman if she was cool.
What makes them cool?
I don't know. They have to. Honestly, they just have to. They have to be funny, interesting. I've been trying to. You know what it is?
What's interesting?
What do you mean? What's interesting? If you have to ask that question, I have bad news for you.
Well, I'm curious in how you would define that.
Interesting is a multifaceted person who has lots of passions and interests, who makes the mundane interesting.
Got it.
Who sees more in the everyday. So
okay, I'm just gonna write that as a note to myself. No,
yes. I truly do have a hard time connecting with people. So like honestly, I've like known people who would like by all rights I should like, but I don't. And so there's that just like the weird brain chemicals. But also I do like a very specific type of person, and I have a hard time putting my finger on what that is.
Like an anime person?
No, it's so funny that you say that. I know other women who say that, and I don't even know what that means. What is anime person?
You put up these chicks in your Instagram story, and I'm like, this is a cartoon character. This is unattainable waist cincher. You're like, I would die for this woman. I'm like, it's a anime.
Oh, you mean the body types?
Yes.
No, Firstly, those women are real if I'm talking to them or sharing them. Those are, I would die for this woman. I think
maybe I'm being a bit dramatic, but
in my opinion, the most attractive woman I can think of off the top of my head, if you're like, hey, tell me who the most attractive woman is, I would say like Brooke Wells, the CrossFit athlete.
Okay. Can I Google her while you continue?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to body types, I'm pretty varied. You know what's funny? I had a conversation with my therapist where I was talking about how I've been in only a couple serious relationships, and it turned out that I wasn't super physically attracted to a lot of people I've dated. And then I've casually dated a lot of people that I wasn't attracted to either. And my therapist was like, hey, this is like not good. You shouldn't date people you're not attracted to. And I was like, what, really? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, but I'm trying not to be shallow. And they're like, that's very stupid what you're saying right now. And they're like, you don't believe that. Like, think about everything I know about you. And then so I stopped and I realized like, so what happened is I connect with so few people that if I even connect with you a little bit, I will just be like, who fucking cares that I don't want to have sex with you? I just want to date you because you're one of the few people I could go to, coffee with and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I would date them despite not being attracted to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that that's really bad for a relationship.
Yeah.
You should be attracted to someone. That's a huge part of it. That's like a whole half of a thing. There's like a physical component to. Anyway, I was like, in my mind, I was like, look at me. not being shallow, really, really wanting the good in people and stuff. And so
You never
now
that didn't grow? You never became more attracted or less attracted to them?
I did become more attractive, but listen, I think attraction can deepen, not grow. Does that make sense?
Right,
So
not
like I
ignite.
can't yeah, I can't the seed has to be in the ground for you to grow that shit. You can't just write the word potato on a piece of paper, bury it and be like, any day now I'll have a potato, you know? You got to have the seed. So the seed of attraction was often not strong enough. So I would become more attracted to them over time. And there would be things about them that I would love, and they were attractive in their own way, but I was never like when you have that like carnivorous attraction, that like
Yes.
visceral, like I never had that like I wanna fucking pile drive you through the earth type feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Which I want that you want that if you're gonna be into someone. So I just thought that was like an unattainable thing, I guess. I was like, can you imagine being emotionally interested in someone you also just want to fuck till they die? Like, that's crazy. So my therapist was like, no, that's what you should go for. You should just do that. Don't settle. And I was like, okay. So now I'm doing this thing where not only am I a very discerning person emotionally and in terms of like what my partner has to offer me, but I'm shallow now. So
Wow, you've really grown.
thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Yeah, you also don't put yourself in situations where you can meet people that you could find attractive and or
This is true. You are correct.
thank you.
And that it used to be so yeah. And then I kind of was like, oh, but I work a lot, but I don't want to meet fans. That's like also really gross, not good.
Right.
Now I'm having a hard time meeting women who are like, who I feel like me for the right reasons.
I didn't want to date a fan either, mostly because every once in a while, like you're human. I've met you in real life. You know, I never got the feeling that you weren't human. Very nice and kind, but sometimes fans, they'll look at you. They have this wide-eyed look, and and you're like, oh, do you like me for me, or do you just like what you think of me, like what you
Yeah.
think I am? And it's but I'm dating a someone I met off Instagram.
Well, there's nothing wrong with, I mean, listen, everyone I've ever dated, I've met online except for one person.
Well, I've seen the comments. There are a lot of like, "Oh, do anything for you."
And that stuff is flattering and I do like it.
Yes.
And to say that I wouldn't a couple years ago, I would sleep with those people if they wanted to. If I felt safe and I thought that, and everything was on the up and up.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely, why not? But and I might even date someone who would say something like that, but it's hard because it's really hard to like parse through what is a parasocial relationship and what's how I'm being perceived and how I perceive a person. It's also really hard when someone knows a lot about you and you don't know about them. And
Mhm.
so you're beginning a relationship on a really uneven footing and it's really uncomfortable. And it
And
feels
they only know that part of you that you share on your podcast or within your jokes or whatever you're putting online,
yes.
which is not all of it.
No, also people think, especially as a comedian, that they know a lot about you and that you're very open, but it's like a magic trick.
Yes.
I share with you things that you think I'm being super open, but like I just don't have the part of my brain that feels shame. So of course I tell you my gross sex stories and stuff. But the real important things I never share, and you just think you know a lot about me, but you don't.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's tough. So yeah, meeting someone online like that is like it's hard. I mean, it's possible, but it's definitely hard. And then there's also the awkwardness of for me, a lot of people are like, "Hey, I'm like I don't know, our lives are in different places." Like I'm like career minded and stuff, but
Mhm.
like, and they're just like, I just work at a coffee place. I have no idea what I'm doing or what I care about. And it's like, those things don't mesh super great.
Well, that goes
That
back to
is,
your interesting part where they need to be passionate about their future.
And I definitely don't. I have no problem dating someone who doesn't have money, but like I would want to date someone who, has passions and interests and dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like tough
And then
too.
sometimes they have those passions and dreams, and then they get into a relationship with you, and then they stop working towards them because they get complacent, and then you're like, come on, man.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. That's
Brutal.
brutal. Now I've found this thing. So I have a hard time meeting people and stuff. And I feel like people have this really weird view of me. I can't date online because they already know me and it's really uncomfortable. And I don't want to date someone who has this like parasocial relationship with me and makes me uncomfortable. And I've had people use me for money or clout or whatever and this and that. And then you try to date people who are like on the level, right? And
Mm-hmm.
or I date people who are like, I guess in New York now I have like access to women who are like rich and successful and stuff. I keep using women as a catch-all. I date men too, but I just not very often because men are just like, "Are you trying to fuck or not?" And I don't like that. And so I really don't like that. I hate it so much. But and so
I'm glad you can feel our struggle here.
no, it's true. It's so real.
Yeah.
I'm like very trad with my male relationships. I'm like, I want, I'm just not down with how most guys date. It's a very not fun. And but these people who have like more money and are successful and have like careers and passion and stuff, they're often really materialistic and they're not very funny very often. And then on top of that, I also feel like they like me for all the opposite bad reasons. So someone who is like having a parasocial relationship with me or is a fan or likes me from Instagram, they like me because they assume I have like money and success or
Mm-hmm.
this and that, these things that they want to get. And then these other people that I want to date because they're on the level and I sort of feel like they get it. They want to date me because I have these things, but those are non-negotiable things. Like they only want to be with me because I'm not being myself. So then I'm like, because I'm not dating them because they're successful. I'm dating them because they have the ability to be successful.
Right.
It's not what success brings, it's the success. Is that a way to put it? Does that make sense? I want someone who
Yes.
has it in them to be passionate and successful and creative.
But also doesn't just let it drown within themselves.
I want a person who has all those things in them, but I don't give a flying fuck about what those things bring you.
Right. Okay. Yes. Like things wise.
Yeah. So like I don't like I live in like a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom place with no oven that has hardly anything in it. I spend all of my money making sure that my mother and my grandpa have good lives and I get to see my brother and I spend my money on like video games and like replica swords and tattoos and I donate, to stuff and I live like a very silly life with like I don't own a lot of things. I don't have nice stuff. I don't like my desk is a hand me down. I don't care about like
Stuff.
I look poor. I look like a very poor person. But in my opinion, I live a life of opulence. And because I have everything I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got successful, but I just wanted to be successful. I didn't want the things that success entailed. So anyway, when I meet people who have stuff and are successful, they seem like, oh, if you don't have the stuff success brings, I'm not interested. And that's gross to me. I hate that. So I'm trapped between a rock and a hard place there.
Yeah, I wish I could set you up with my best friend who is stuck in Cape Town, but she just found a man. But yeah, she hates things. She's wealthy on paper, but she wears like a tutu because it's comfortable and like a hoodie every day. And she does all these like shaman healing ceremonies
I
and
don't
then
know
just
about
gives all
that.
the money. She gives all the money away. It's so
Well, no, I like passion, but I also don't. I'm not. There's some things that are just too much.
I'm not into crystals. I can't. If a crystal comes from an impoverished area, how can you say it's going to help you become whatever it's supposed, like whatever pink crystal that you bought is supposed to bring you something, and the area that it came from the people are like dying and have no food. I'm like, how? What? It doesn't make sense to me.
The only crystal that brings me joy is the lithium in the battery of my iPhone that was mined.
Oh, I was like, are you on lithium?
No.
Yeah, you're a tough cookie. I always found you very interesting. Like immediately, I was like, he's got the aura of something cool, and like Britney.
Oh, thank you.
You're like the Britney Spears of comedy.
Ooh, I don't know what that means exactly, but I do love Britney Spears. I know that there was recently a documentary and a lot of people are fired up.
Yes.
Listen, free Britney for sure.
Free
I'm
Britney.
on board. I just don't know exactly what's going on.
Fuck Justin Timberlake and free Britney.
Okay.
Yeah, no, her coaches from when she was little, like when she was 5 to 9, came on and they were like, there was just something about her. She just had this, she was always so focused and ambitious and loving and sweet. And that's why I was like, you're the Britney Spears. You're focused and loving and sweet, but always worked towards the goals. And she did the same thing. She took care of everyone.
It's the way to do it.
She really does, because her father controls all of her money. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I do love, one of the things I love about Britney is that she's very she's got talented and got all the stuff going on, but she's still deep down this white trash swamp monster, and I love that. That's a big fan of that vibe.
Yeah, she is. She's got that in her. And also, I don't think that I would make any different choices than she made. Like when she went, what everyone says, went crazy and she shaved her head. I'm like, she wanted to hide from you guys. Like everyone was stalking her nonstop. I also would go a little nutsos. If someone's following me too close for too long, I turn around like, what the fuck?
I mean, getting angry and shaving your head is so mundane in terms of just like the life experience over all people's lives. If you've never done something that silly, then like your life is boring. And I don't know what you're doing. I mean, most people I know have like made a big mistake or done something wild and been like, wow, I was so emotional. Like, yeah, of course she shaved her head. Whatever, who cares?
I had like a 6-month spiral after I broke up with the guy after my second husband. So when second husband, then the next guy, and I spiraled. I like slept with everything. I don't remember a lot. I drank too much, and then I was like, get it together. This is not who you are. You're just having an episode.
Yeah.
A long episode.
A long one. 6 months? That's a decent amount.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. And then my friend Brianna, you have to have these friends. She was like, dude, you got to get your life together. You are a disaster. And I was like, thank you. I needed that. Do you have people does your brother check you on things? I
have friends who will kind of be like, hey, what's going on? But you know what? I honestly don't get that. No, I'll be real. I don't think I have friends who really check me. They're just kind of like, that's Shayne. He does stuff like this.
You also don't do anything bad.
No, my self-destructive tendencies are like...
The block of cheese that you were eating the last time we recorded?
Yeah. My self-destructive tendencies are honestly mostly just me not being social and just being alone for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Which is like, what are you going to do? My self-destructive tendencies are like, manifest themselves in the fact that I'm like 34 and I've never even come close to being in love with someone who loved me back type stuff, you know, like I just like don't have relationships with people very easily. That's like where my stuff manifests.
I think a lot of that is in your head though, and you hold yourself back from, I don't know, what are you scared of meeting someone? Is that what? No,
because I'm
you
definitely
just don't want to be bothered to go out when you don't want to go out.
Yeah. I don't do what I don't want to do.
Also, if you're always doing something in your social time, then you aren't going to look up and see that maybe there is a hot girl at the next table that you can talk to.
I will go through spurts where I'll date and then and I'll meet people who seem kind of cool, and then they'll disappoint me in a big way, and it does so much psychic damage to me that I have to like take a break for a while because I get so frustrated and annoyed,
Mm-hmm.
and I get really like doom pilled is what I want to call it, where I'm just like, oh, everything is the worst. I hated everything. And I had to like take a break because it really it like bums me out.
Well, you invest a lot.
Yeah, I do. And I also I have a really I mean, listen, I have antisocial personality disorders, so I have like a tough time with relationships. But when I do connect with someone, it's all in.
Mm-hmm.
I just go 100% and I work backwards from there. And I know people are like, well, why don't you go slow? And it's like, I literally don't. What fuck? You either do or you don't. You either are with someone or you're not. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how to friendship in any other way. Once I decide I'm your friend, it's like, yeah, I'll ride for this person. Like I would
Yeah.
kill for you. I'm all so anyway. When I date, I'm like, if I decide I like someone, I do scale it back and not scare them and stuff. But I'm kind of like 100% all in, and it's their game to lose. And boy, do they lose at it.
I
And
feel like you're
so
giving me insight on how I do friendships.
yeah, and it's hard to and I think lots of people behave this way, and I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it can be taxing, especially for me dating. It just taxes me over time, and I have to stop.
So that is something that weighs heavy on you. Because I feel like it could be culturally everybody's pushed. They're like you're nothing unless you're in a relationship. And
Yes,
so that is like deep in there. It
I
gets
have no problem being alone.
yeah.
I'm kind of betting on I mean, listen, the real reality is a lot of people go through their whole life without experiencing romance in any significant way, right? Like
Mhm.
some people are romantics and they have a great love. Some people get married multiple times and they're all like these incredible passionate affairs. Some people whatever. And the reality that we don't talk about is a lot of people will live full lives never having had I mean they'll have romance but not like real romance, and
Mhm.
I'm 34 and I don't think I've come close, and I'm starting to be like, I may be one of these people and that's fine.
That is what I've always said. I felt like I had this huge love for my huge, and then he was taxing because he wasn't the greatest, and I fell out of love with him. And then the rest of them, I just kind of was like, fine, I'll marry you
Damn.
because I'm tired, and
Oh Billy.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then I was like, I'm never gonna have that again. Most people don't have that. I was lucky to have it once. And then this one, it seems like I'm getting romance, and it's very scary. It's a scary time right now for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like that's great though. I think that your viewpoint is correct. You may have never got it again, and maybe you have it right now. And just I think romance is, in the word of Achilles, it's more everything's more beautiful because we're doomed.
Yes. That's so sad.
You might only have it for a little bit. You might have it for a long time, but like I think once you get it, it's really fucking cool, and you should just experience it and
Yeah.
hope it works out. All the risk is what makes it so good. So I think that if I lived my whole life and I never had a great romance and then I died, I have so many friendships and people that I love so deeply that like, do I want romance? Yes. I'm a person who like enjoys reading about it and thinking about it, but I'm also a person who would never force it because I respect it so much. So I would never force it. So, but if I never had it, I feel personally it would be worth never having had love just so that love can exist because some of us have to not do it for it to be valuable.
Right. Right.
So I'm okay with life's shitty, mean, unfair rules because it makes the people who have it so important. Like I have friends who are in love and they're married or they have loved and lost and I'm like that's fucking just thinking about it is like a big deal to me. Like it's so beautiful and so weird and so like what is happening here between us in this life and we're just like it's such a strange human thing that I'm like yeah, this is cool. These rules make sense to me. I'm okay with this.
So you're saying that settling is almost selfish.
Settling is not only selfish, settling is you spitting in the face of one of the only truly beautiful religious human experiences humanly possible. The experience of love is so wild and different and weird and out of the realm of anything that is necessary in life, that for you to like take this miracle, something so special, so incredible, and so fucking like mind bending that doesn't even make sense, it shouldn't exist in the universe, and to settle and not actually try to go for the real thing is like a disgusting and like abhorrent thing. It's like the worst thing you could do.
I love that.
Yeah, it's you're fucking love is such a crazy thing that for you to not risk it for the full deal is just like you're shortchanging everything.
It could change the paradigm of how people feel about breakups also, because people get so down about breakups and so hard on themselves about the failure of it that they're not realizing that they're actually investing in the possibility of real love in the future.
True. And every heartbreak, every heartbreak, every bad thing that's ever happened to you in romance, for everyone through all time, is all building towards love being more valuable. Every time you've ever been hurt makes someone else's love more valuable. Every time you fail makes someone's success all that much more valuable.
Oh, I say this often, you don't appreciate the happy without the sad. And I know I made that very simple, but
yeah,
I'm like, it's okay. You have to feel this, because then the next time you feel elated, you're going to be like, I love this moment. This is my, so.
But I feel like even outside of the individual, like every heartbreak is paying into the system that puts love out for others.
So you feel like the universal energy is fueled by love?
Well, I just think the concept of love is fueled by
community.
It's not even the community as much as just like it's more valuable because it's so dangerous, and so that's like what makes it so exciting and so unique and so beautiful.
That's an interesting perspective on humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
Because then that makes us invested in everyone else.
Listen, everything we do that isn't completely necessary is the human experience. When you wake up and feed yourself and work and try to live day to day, like all of that stuff is very animal. You know, any creature does that. Algae does that. Trees do that. All that extra, that stuff is that human experience, that what the fuck are we up to stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the passion, art, love, war, like all of these very specific human things are very beautiful, and I think that like being mindful of our specific human experiences that aren't completely necessary is important to have a perspective on what we're all up to and why it's such a big deal.
I can understand now why this might be a lot on a first date, you know, as a conversation. You're like, I'm all in. So you with me on this? And she's like, can we get an appetizer? Or
I do love that like 19th century, like I'm off to France to fight against Napoleon. Yeah, let's get pregnant right now. Like, I don't know. I do love that stuff.
Oh, yeah, me too. I love the old school way. It's so romantic. I think I started reading romance novels when I was like 12. And I was like, this is going to be my life. And then I think when I was like also 12, we watched a partial birth abortion at our school, like on video. And I was like,
what?
I'm never going to have sex.
Damn.
I know. I was like, oh my God, forget it all. And then
brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal. I was like, well, it worked. This worked on me. And all the other girls, not so much, but me worked.
And so you're a virgin except for the times you got married.
Yes,
interesting.
100%. I actually was a virgin until I got married. But
nice.
but I was only 19, so I was ready. I was like, let's do this.
There you go.
Let's get hitched.
You were a full virgin? You didn't lose your Catholic virginity?
No.
Okay.
I know. I still haven't lost my Catholic virginity.
Wow, you should try that. If you're really into this guy and you care about him, give it up.
Okay, we joke about that. But my second husband, I knew didn't want to marry him so much that I actually stress split my rectum and colon. And then I had to have it lasered the day before I got married.
You blew out your butthole because you didn't want to get married. You could just not do it. Just run away, woman. It's too late now. But damn.
We've learned since then. But yeah, and then I had to use this weird cream on my honeymoon, and I was like sitting in the sink going, this isn't gonna work.
Damn.
Yeah. So nobody goes, and it stays virgin-like till I die.
The key to that is to relax. So I'm sure your listeners are aware.
Yeah, I had a week where I tried to get like a baby butt plug, and I even had Thomas Whitfield, I know you know him, talk me through it because one of his sponsors is the one that I bought, and I was like, we are not a go.
This is wild to me. I feel like you're doing it wrong. I don't know what you're up to, but there's no way your bussy is that tight. We got to figure that out for you.
Bussy. Okay, we can't figure it out on this show. Okay, so how can people find you?
They can come to Astoria, Queens. My address is I'm Shaydozer, SHAYDOZER. If you want to see that, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, wherever. I'm all Xbox Live. Hit me up. I'm also on TikTok. I forget. Anyway, you can just find me in all the places. And I Twitch stream under that name. And if you want to come hear me talk about politics and or play video games, that's where I'm at.
And probably simultaneously. Yeah?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes
nothing. Everyone loves a good breakdown of the Communist Manifesto over some Minecraft. So,
yeah, who doesn't? That's my Friday nights always. Thank you so much. I adore you. I
love you.
I love you too. I really do. I'm like, there's something special. I'm like, you're in my life forever, and yes, I would kill for you. That's how I always do it, which is not. I mean, I feel good about this one, but. And some other ones, I'm like, that wasn't a good choice.
It can be a problem.
It can be. Make sure to follow Happy Never After podcast. Also, a similar vibe. Make sure to follow Shayne's podcast at the Cowboy Boys.
Cowboy Boys.
Yes.
Nothing of value will be said there. I know it's today. I may have said something and you'll be like, wow, that's an interesting way of looking at the world. Not my other podcast. That will be all dick jokes.
I sent it to Marshall. He's going to edit this, so he's going to hear this. But I sent it to Marshall, and I was like, I love this podcast. You should hear. And he goes, do they talk about anything other than coming? And I was like,
oh, no, we don't, Marshall. Thank you for listening. It's a lot of cum.
It is so much cum. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, Shayne.